Is there anything that we can do as a collective to support resolution for the war in the Middle East? And how can we process emotions that can come up, especially if we have family there and being Middle Eastern ourselves? How can we be of service as a collective to help?
This is a mirror in this particular region for all of you on the planet. And although it is concentrated in its explosive nature in a particular region, it is affecting all of you on an energetic level. For the field of this great discord and its vibration ripples out across the globe. And although it has been spoken of and it is understood that there is no separation between you and anyone else, especially those that are connected in this way, that prayer and attunement to this place and the sending of higher energies is supportive. However, we will remind you that this particular region has been in a state of conflict for an extraordinarily long period of time and is playing out very much the karmic energy patterns that have been embedded and are seated here around the frequency of war and division and intolerance. And so we are inviting all of you to notice where perhaps you are at war with yourself or with another. You are in judgment of yourself or another. You are intolerant of yourself or another. And you may say, well, that does not seem how it could help or support those that are experiencing such great suffering. And yet, from our perspective, we see and perceive you as one energetic sphere of light that is connected and tangled together in a field of energy, a resonance of light. And when there is a pulling on a particular area, there needs to be in equal measure the same vibration of unity in order for it to come into balance. And however, the energy that feels so explosive and separate is appearing more amplified than the unified energy because there is a deep sense of disconnect. And so, as the vibration and the consciousness begins to continue to elevate and you pass through these doorways and gateways, what you will find is that the possibility of ignorance or ignoring that is occurring in other places that are not near to home or within your own heart center will be impossible because you will need to come into harmonization with that vibration as you come into harmonization with yourself. And so you can energetically attune to this space, to this place, and blanket it with this vibration of harmony. However, it will require a lifting up from within the people in order for the healing of this region to come into completion. For it will not come to terms around a ceasefire or a peace negotiation or a diplomatic effort through the leaders, because the leaders have an agenda that is not seen or perceived necessarily by the collective. And it is so only through a grassroots movement and an overtaking where the people begin to demand a shift and a change by unifying and coming together, by crossing borders and loving one another, where they are able to come to terms and peace with each other. together. And yet, the energy of the war itself is designed to create so much division that it keeps the warring fractions of the tribal energy amongst different groups at war energetically within themselves. And so it is only through those who are not necessarily immersed in the actual process of the war or the bombs that can begin to create an energetic bonding, forgiveness, compassion, love, understanding between themselves and what is perceived as the enemy on whatever side one appears to be on. And it is through that that the dismantling of the hierarchy around the actual perceived leadership will fall and peace can reign in the region. But as long as these particular leaders and their agendas that are not oriented or directed toward resolution or peace continue on their pathway, this particular region will continue to spread and the energy will be even more explosive. And so it is something where there is enough within the resonance of the field of enough around the planet to demand change. The change occurs. However, there is great complacency and distraction that has been implemented and also placed within the attention of others to keep them away from having the energy needed to make these changes. And so, from a galactic perspective, or our perspective, this warring can only come back into balance through the harmonization of the balancing within self as a mirrored reflection as the whole. And so, in order to support or to help those that are experiencing the suffering of this energy, is to support them in finding peace and harmony regardless of outside circumstances, which of course is easier said from our perspective than implemented on the ground. However, there are a few more years of these intense energies that are coming to culmination, that will come to a pinnacle, to come to a heightened state in which the top of it will fall over and the energies beneath will rise up, and there will be a birthing of a whole new way of perception around all things, including that of the borders that are artificially drawn by the idea of separateness between people.